Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 5th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. And what a finish in the S&P. Triple Qs made a new all-time high earlier indeed today. They end up making another one as they probe late in the day. They have a set of single prints, trend day, double distribution. Russell, they have two sets of single prints. They go out with a double distribution day. But SPY and ES, boy, what a finish after a perfect POC for ES, not SPY. SPY missed a perfect POC by 1 penny. H could not get up to D's low. 1 penny, we missed a perfect POC. But we explode. We had a very tight range all day, only to have M period absolutely rip above the day's high, get the all-time high. I know ES has a weak all-time high. I do not for now. The real important thing to remember, though, even though we took out the high, remember it's a balance high. We took it out by 5 cents. So all we did was stretch a 10-day balance, which is now only $5.86, by 10 cents. So tomorrow's going to be critically important, I think, especially after this job number comes out, especially with a price probe of this size. If we open above the price probe and then start getting extension above the all-time high, well, then we have a new leg up in this market in both the weekly and the daily. Monthly is more than healthy. However, if we don't open above this price spike and open below it and do not get back to the all-time high, all we did was stretch the balance. And if we can't get back to it tomorrow and we stay below J's high and you go get that perfect POC, well, eventually, the destination will be the bottom of the balance, which is down at 435.99. Very important to keep in mind. It was a very quiet trading day because there was really nothing there. Took a long in A against the inside day up. And another thing to remember, we had an inside day up, but for most of the day, buyers did not get paid very well above it. They got paid, but nothing great until M period. So I had a small long in A against that, against the inside day up. The 439 calls, B period. I was long the 440 calls that paid, but the best trade, those were both very small trades. The best trade for me by far was G. As I was telling the room, higher value. We had a perfect pot going at the time. When G came down, at the time half back was down there, value low. I said, this is a perfect risk reward trade. I bought 100 calls of the 439s. I said below the opening I would be out. I figured we would hold yesterday's high. Now, the trade worked out nice, but it took a while because it sat there in G. H went down a little bit. It didn't do much. By the time it really started getting its groove on, these things were deteriorating already. Now, I'm not complaining. I did well on them, and I finally took the rest off right at H's high, which couldn't get to POC, by the way, for us. So, technically, it was a beautiful trade. Unfortunately, because we didn't get the bounce you usually get off an afternoon pullback quickly enough, they decayed, so I didn't get paid as much as I would have liked to. But it was still a good trade, and that was it. Didn't do anything else. Nothing else was enticing me, and then M did what M does, so I was not going to get in the way of that freight train. I was actually a little surprised. We went and got the all-time high. I didn't think they would do it, but they did. So as far as destinations tomorrow, there's only one on the upside right now. That's 441.85. So unless we make a new high in the overnight, we have a clean all-time high in the SPY. In the regular trade now is a 441.85. Now I know it's a weak high for the ES. For the downside, the price probe 441.14, J's high. Then we have 12 wide in SPY at 440.81. It got lifted to A's high on that last move up. So 440.81 is 12 wide for SPY, 13 wide for ES. Then the afternoon pullback low in H of 440.41. And then today's low of 439.88. And then we had that 10 wide from yesterday that went from an upside to a downside, is now a naked POC at 439.65. And then on the chart, remember tomorrow we will recap everything on all three of these indices. Now, triple Qs, remember, blew through their daily balance to the upside today. So you can say they're up. In fact, we'll look at that real quick. But let's go first to SPY. So monthly, we took out last month's high. Even if we didn't take it out, we're still one time framing up. Unless you take out a previous month's low, even an inside month would not stop it. But we already took out now last month's high by a little bit. One time framing up. This is month 10. Weekly, I am still calling it balance. We were talking in the room today how small this range was. I was like, wow, we could actually possibly have an inside week with a range of under $6. Well, for now, we took out the high. So there's no inside week, but we only took it out by 5 cents. So keep this in mind. The way I just showed you on the profile, if the number disappoints and we open below the price spike, how's this for something that could possibly happen? We took out last week's high now by 5 cents. If that number isn't good, or I shouldn't even say if the number's bad, the market's going to rally. I'm assuming if there's more people at work, the market might pull back. But for whatever reason, if we get disappointed tomorrow and the market decides that's all they wanted to do, there's a possibility, if this market really flush, of an outside week down. Am I looking for that? No. Should we absolutely have it in our mind? Of course. And then on the daily, again, this was day 10. We stretched the all-time high by 5 cents. That's part 2 of balance rules. 1 is you almost get to it and roll over. 2 is you stretch it and then roll over. 3 is you get through it and don't look back. Well, the day ran out of time today, so we don't know if we were going to keep going. But tomorrow's going to be important to see if we do get acceptance. Making a new all-time high is one thing. Getting acceptance above this is quite another. 37.5 million shares. Very, very poor. Crickets at the all-time high as far as volume goes. Should be an interesting morning tomorrow. Hope you had a great day trading. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.